Today we're headed back to our property because we have a lot of things to do. It's nice to see how the leaves have changed since the last time we came up. Towards the end of the day, everything looks so beautiful with an orange glow, and our neighbors' yards and their animals are so fun to look at as we pass by them. Every time we come up to our property, we always stop at our favorite gas station, Buc-ee's. And we just found out that we actually have one about 45 minutes away from where we live. So that's going to be fun having one accessible to us whenever we'd like to go. It's a retail store, restaurant, gift shop. I mean, you name it. There's so many beautiful things in this place, and it's a huge gas station. They have a lot of beautiful things to look at, and they're always changing their inventory. So every time we go there, there is always something new. The kids are always plenty entertained every time we go. And as you can see, here is the retail portion of it, and then to the left is the gas station section. They have an assortment of fudges and pastries and food and jerky. It's a really cool place. Also on this trip, we had to stop at Lowe's to get some things that we needed for some projects that we had going on the property. And of course, shortly after we got back on our property, our first little hiccup.
So keeping in tradition with all of our projects going smoothly, the LE hit a 2-inch water main in here. So, oh, there you go. If you can see that post, sorry, there it is. That post, that is where they're gonna put the power pole. And they told us to dig from there to the RV. Well, it's a water main right there. So good times. So now all of our neighbors down our road do not have water. So it's a good way to meet everybody, because everybody came out and immediately knew what happened. Never a dull moment. All right, here's the bad boy that did all that damage. This is a 36-inch trencher with a track, and you stand behind it. The one that I did for the water line from the meter to our camper, it was like a pull behind one with tires, and it was terrible because they had a posi lock. So like, you know, they both turned at the same time. And oh, that one beat me up. This one's actually pretty cool. It's got the little thing that you stand behind, so you're not really doing a whole lot of work. But it will tear up 2-inch water mains.
So while Nelson is actually outside dealing with the water main issue, I swear something always has to happen. But he's waiting for the guys to come back. They already came out pretty quickly. What's pretty amazing is that here everything is so much more personable. And immediately when it happened, we started calling our neighbors, and our neighbors started calling people because the main line it's Saturday. So the main line, nobody's answering it. And nobody had an emergency like phone number. So everybody just started calling everybody they knew. And within about maybe 10-15 minutes since the initial call to like our neighbors, we had somebody out here, and they came out, they found out that it is the 2-inch main water line. And then he said he would go to the shop, meet another guy, and then they're coming back so that they can repair it. So that's what's going on right now. While Nelson is out there working with that, I am going to be in here working on cleaning a little bit, even though I don't have no water. But I've got a couple things that I got to do. And let me show you. So actually, I'm a little windblown, and y'all can see there's even more noise going on outside. When I was talking to you earlier, I had two neighbors stop by, two of the ones that we had called for help. They're out there right now working on the water line. They shut it off, thank goodness. So there's no more like river going down our road. But it looks like they're gonna have to bring an excavator out in order to fix it. Just so much. So I was out there talking to my neighbors for a little bit. So I didn't get what I wanted to get done. So let me show you. So right now everything's a bit of a mess because we've got stuff everywhere. But right here I have a couple of mattress toppers, and this one's another one. The mattress in there is pretty hard. So I have a mattress topper to go over there, and then I also bought the same ones, or a similar one for the kids. Not as thick because obviously, and I'm so sorry for the mess. This is kind of crazy town since everything happened. Since they don't have a lot of space in between them, and up here I didn't want anything too thick, but I need to go ahead and pull all the sheets off so that I can put the mattress toppers on. That's very important. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now because I need them to air out and expand and have that done before tonight.
And here comes the cavalry to save the day. So while Nelson was standing by and dealing with the water situation, I went ahead and took the kids downtown, and they were having this fun little boo bash for all of the kids in the town where they can go and do the trunk or treats and just hang out with other kids dressed up in costumes. This was something that we had planned to go as a family, but Nelson unfortunately couldn't attend because he was dealing with our little emergency on site.
It is now the next day. I have the kids behind there. They're in the room watching a movie, and I am hopefully going to work on the beds today. I didn't get much done yesterday with the whole water main fiasco. We got a little bit side railed, and then we had several neighbors come visit, and so we were talking, and then it was time to just take the kids to the little boo bash that they had in the downtown area. So we did that. We came home, and then it was already dark. Unfortunately, today it's raining outside, so there's not much we can do outside, and Nelson unfortunately can't dig the trench anymore because there's a lot of rock in the area and he just can't get through. So we're going to have to circle back and figure out what we can do instead. So he's got some plans going on right now, but since it's Sunday, he can't really make any phone calls or do anything or set anything up. So we're going to have to wait till tomorrow. So what we're going to do now is tackle these bunk beds. I am going to, and I'll show you in just a second, but I'm going to add contact paper all over the bottoms of the bed because they're all plywood, and the plywood touches the mattresses and it tends to snag. Not only does it snag the mattress, but it also snags any of the any of the linens that I put on the bed. So in order to prevent that, I'm going to cover all that plywood up with contact paper. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. All right, so that noise you hear in the background is a generator because obviously we sort of... Do you mind? You good?
Good.
Okay. All right, so that noise you hear in the back is a generator. Nelson actually has the easy up over it so it doesn't get damaged while it rains. So if you look here, this is what we have underneath the mattresses. And as I was putting the fitted sheets on, I would feel it get snagged, and sometimes a little bit of a splintering would happen, and I'd, get them in my fingers and stuff whenever I would put these on. So I'm trying to prevent that from happening in the future. So I bought this contact paper from Walmart, and it's one that I've actually used in my last house for a lot of the insides of cabinets, and it's actually a lot more expensive now. I bought it when it was about $5.50 a roll, and now it's unfortunately $7. So, but I prefer using this one because it is wider than the ones that you get on Amazon, so you get a little bit more for your money regardless.
Contact paper on its own can be a pain in the butt, but doing contact paper in a small bunk like this is even worse.
All right, so this is what I was able to do with that one roll of contact paper. I had to cut some pieces in here to make them fit, but I think overall, hey, it's gonna work. It's gonna cover this. I don't have to get pricked. It's off to the second one. Okay, so our bed is done as well. I just finished it. All that was left was like this little sliver, but it's okay because the most important part was getting at least that little corner right there, just because I didn't want to touch it or get any splinters from there. But that's really the only thing that's left. Everything else is good. There's a couple of screws that kind of come up, so I couldn't get that perfectly flat. But other than that, the underneath part of our bed is now complete, and I can go ahead and put everything back on. I don't have to worry about getting splinters. What's really cool about this is that now I can actually pull the mattress forward, tuck everything behind it, and do that.
Is that it?
Later on that afternoon, we went to have dinner at one of our neighbors' houses. They were actually the people who sold us our property, and they had just gotten these 3 beautiful calves, and we got to spend some time with them. The girls were more excited than my son, but these are the moments that I am looking forward to being up here. Having the kids interact with animals and do new things that they would not otherwise be exposed to living in the suburbs.
Okay, so now it's 2 days later. We ended up going to dinner to our friends, and they were actually the people who sold us our property. They live not too far from us. They invited us over for supper, and it was really nice to have a nice home cooked meal because we've been eating too much takeout. I still don't have the kitchen set up or the fridge even on at this point because we are running on the generator, and once we turn it off, we have no power, so I don't want any food to spoil in the fridge. So it was just nice to have something home cooked. The kids loved it. We all had a great time. We spent about 4 hours over there after dinner, just kind of hanging out, talking, getting to know them. The kids got to feed the cows. It was just a lovely time. So after that, we went to the other town that's not that far away. Nelson returned some stuff that he had to return, and we stayed up there 2 days because Nelson was working remotely, so he was working from the hotel. And now we're back today because tomorrow we have the septic tank being installed. So hopefully that'll go smoother than the whole electric stuff. And I just finished cutting the edges off of the mattress. Let me show you. I did this with a insulation knife that we bought at Home Depot, and that is the nicest I can get it. The good thing is it will be covered with sheets, so I don't have to see that jagged edge. It was pretty tough to cut, but yeah, we went ahead and I went ahead and cut this off. And now I'm just going to put the sheets back on. It was nice that we were away a couple days because it gave us some time to just let them sit here, air out, and expand. And they ended up fitting perfectly. So it's nice. This is a full size bunk. So the full size mattresses, except for the corner, fit perfect.
If anything will get old in this camper is putting these bed sheets in these bunk beds. Oh my goodness. These are so difficult. Now, while I was working on the mattresses, the kids were hard at work painting some little nutcrackers that I had seen at Dollar Tree and picked them up. Then later on that night, we sat by the campfire and we roasted s'mores and we just had a nice time relaxing. By the way, that little one has a special way about her. This was a very eventful trip, and I was able to get a few things done that I needed to get done as well. So I'm just gonna sign off here and wish you guys a wonderful evening, and I will see you guys back here very soon with another video. Until then, adios.